Welcome race fans back to the Deviant Racing League, and it's time for season 3.3's round 5 of the championship. We're at Sardegna reverse circuit today for the next round in this fantastic competitive championship so far, and I can't wait to get underway for everybody. Let me just look out for the current standings for you. I'm just dealing with a lot of messages coming in. But that's excellent stuff. Okay, well, hope everybody's doing well. Looking forward to seeing what the drivers have in store for us today. Qualifying has officially started. The outlaps are underway, and we will obviously have the first of those. I think actually Matt will be the first on track. And once again, my wireless keyboard does not want to make a connection. Hopefully enough. Well, let me talk about the championship so far. Well, Nismo leads our championship on 51 points with a drop score, ahead of Zen on 45 points. On 43 in third is reigning champion Glovas. There we go. No. Yes, indeed, my keyboard is now working. Matt is the driver in question then, first on track, so we'll give him the benefit of the first run then through the lap. And we can't wait to get underway for this race. Of course, the small matter of essential qualifying to come. Plenty of walls here at Sardegna, and the track obviously not really designed to go this way round. So we will obviously be discovering new angles, and that cameraman looked very, very precarious on that podium, on that little pedestal there. It's shades of Long Beach, the feel to this circuit. But in fourth place is Camzilla. He has 34 points, with Comacopa in 30 points in fifth. Chaotica is in sixth with 29 points. Next up, Dirksey on 27. With Zanshin on 25, we have Floody, Mercury, Preston, 24, 24, 22, respectively. And below the potential relegation playoff line is Don't Need Time on 20. So close indeed to 11th place, with T-Deeds on 7 and B-Boob down on 0 points in total. So we're just finishing out that first flying lap then, on board with Matt as we run towards the line. Let's have a look at these times as they come through. So that is a 1:41.5 for Matt. Zen beats that quickly, which is good to see. Floody does too, into second position. Daboy goes into, well, he briefly fifth, but quickly beaten by Comacopa. Here comes Zanshin to cross the line. He crosses the line in seventh. Down there we've got Camzilla, one of the championship contenders, out in ninth position. And then of course we go out to, we've got Dirksey next, about to cross the line. He comes through on the racing soft tyres, as you would expect in qualifying here. Dirksey goes P9. As we wait to see several drivers come through. This is next Mercury, low growling engine for Mercury as he crosses the line into 12th position. And then Bongit must be reserve driving for us today, and he goes up into 9th actually. Let me just check that I've got the correct online IDs. I have, so I'm not mistaking the drivers accidentally. So let's see then, as Nismo is the next to attack a lap and is into the right-hander into the second sector of the racetrack. Heads under our inflatable track marker. Team Spotify head the championship on 157. This is combined across GT3 and GT4 challenges. They have 157. On 105 is Special K, with Mountain Dew on 101. Those two positions swapping over through the course of the previous round. Up one place too is Brondo into fourth on 84 points. We have on 79 Zin, and then the Puma Porsches on 75, and Coca-Cola are down at the bottom of the grid on 48 points right now. Lots of shadows coming across the racetrack from these windmills and of course the helicopter. This is Nismo then, taking it very wide out onto the blue stuff on the exit of the corner as Cam has gone quicker. Several drivers putting in quicker laps. Well, Nismo almost colliding with the wall there. And let's see if I can't find you a driver who is finishing this current lap. Comacopa races under the PSVR2 system, and he is currently in 7th position. Hope everybody's doing well. And if you're watching live online with us, do take part in the chat. I know Preston has already said hello, and he's liking the Voodoo Chevy. He's enjoying the Mountain Dew livery. We're going to check out the liveries, of course, in detail later on, but we will get into our setup here for the getting qualifying ready, and then we'll get the safety car announcement shortly after quali. Commentator then, the next on track then to try and tackle a lap, takes the first bend in the road, not really a turn, the bend in the road in turn 1, very wide indeed, and then a big stop down towards turn 2 as we mash through those gears. Try not to be on the grass for the traction zone on the way out of turn 2. Drivers expecting to see a lot of contact on the early laps of the race here. This is early morning. It looks like we've got dry conditions, certainly for qualifying at this time. I haven't heard any different from our drivers, as then super wide for the entry into the start of the second sector we go. And back over the crest, and now it's starting to head downhill again in the shadow of the mountains here at Sardegna, and also in the shadow of an ancient church as well. So a tightening radius right-hander here before heading straight towards a wall, and a right angle left, followed by a switchback right into what is not fast enough to really call a chicane. Commentator suffering with understeer at the moment here on the car, really able to command a great deal of cornering performance out of the Ferrari. Hopefully for him it will improve later on, and then we have a big stop for the final turn. Right-hander number 15 of our 15 corners here, of course, at the circuit. I'm just trying to find my true map, which has eluded me for a moment. So Commentator up one place to 6th position. Let's join Fanatec Floody, shall we, at the tail end of his lap. He's heading down towards turn 13. Quick chicane, left, right, and then a big stop, as I said before. You need to get the car nicely balanced into the penultimate corner to set yourself up for ideal braking. That was still suffering with understeer through the exit of the final corner, turn 15, and heading then towards the line for Floody. Any improvement? No, actually a much slower lap, and wearing through those soft tyres. I think drivers, several drivers now stuck on their final laps shortly. Here comes Zen out of the final corner. He has half a second to find to get onto pole position. Looks like Nismo certainly taking a big improvement here in this latter part of our season, and that puts Nismo still on pole, but only by 1.5 tenths of a second. We're on 9 minutes and 15 seconds as Nismo's back round again, and about to try and set a better lap. And it is a better lap. Wow, a further 6 tenths of a second from Nismo. Kiros Kai saying the track is a definitely different beast in reverse, so that's good to know. I mean, certainly less runoff, and it's just very poorly engineered to turn in these directions. And you can see there, as Anatol's saying, it's a much more difficult circuit as Zen is still working the wheel. Who's next up to finish out their lap? Well, we're about to, we've just crossed over the penultimate sector time here for Floody. We'd love to see different drivers on the podium if possible, but this GT3 season has seen three drivers very much quicker than the others, and unfortunately we have seen that Spotify have certainly been taking a very, very strong lead. Great performance, but partly I think down to the advantages of the current BOP for the Lamborghini Huracan. Here comes Floody then to cross the line. That was a slower lap from him, and I think that is the end of his challenge. There you get a look at the Voodoo Mountain Dew colour scheme. We've got a fair amount of Halloween specials, it seems, as well. So can't wait to inspect those carefully throughout the course of our 1 hour race. Hopefully you guys can get some predictions in for me as well as finishing out what is now his final lap, of course, is Matt. Again, another reserve driver here today. Not one of our season regulars, but guest driving in the division to make up the places. So Matt down through the gears, horribly slow final corner, and then right out on the gravel, completely ruining the traction zone here. I'll be surprised if this is a better lap than 5th for Matt, but we'll watch him across the line before checking in with Camzilla. He does, he goes 6th, slower than Camzilla, strangely, but Cam had just put in his lap. So Nismo it is, who has changed onto the hard tyres, but I'm not going to believe that lap was set on the hard tyres. That's a 40.0 for Nismo. And let's have a look at his car as well. Well, we can't because he's in the pits, so that was a bit stupid. The bright orange safety car is waiting for Sully to drive it for us, as the drivers are now just cycling through. This is the Renault in a scary looking blood red and black special Halloween livery. And we'll have a look at Zanshin as well. This Zin is looking good, I think, here. Curious guy saying Nismo set the time in hard driving in reverse. Yes, he does seem to have quite the advantage at the moment. Camzilla and Zanshin just putting the Mazdas for Team Zin. Some good camera opportunities for those two. Let's have a look at Daboy. He is currently driving the Don't Need Time. This is the SpongeBob livery, I think still, yes, indeed. And I haven't had a good look at, this is the Special K, is it? No, it's the Puma Porsches. A Ghostbusters Puma Porsche, fantastic. Safety car, lap 17 with thanks to Anatole. Safety car, lap 17. We will go for 1 hour around the Sardegna road track. And it is a pole position by a significant margin for the Lamborghini Huracan team Spotify in the Rexy livery of Nismo, a 140.017. Zen 7/10 plus behind in second, with Floody in third and Bongett in fourth. Good guesting appearance there from Bongett. Camzilla in fifth with Matt in sixth, and IJV in seventh position. Comacopa in eighth, and we have Daboy in ninth, Chaotica in 10th, Zanshin in 11th, Dirtsky in 12th, with Mercury in 13th position. And it is actually going to be Sully, of course. I say Daboy, but that is, in fact, Don't Need Time. I thought it was today, so it was just showing the wrong names. But a pole position for Nismo. No surprises there as we get ready for a 1 hour race. Will it be all Nismo's way? Can Zen have something to say about it? Will we still see Camzilla picking up good points as well? It's all to play for here in round 5 as we near the end of our current season 3.3. So we'll get ready for the lights. It will be a quick bend to the left, followed by a tight right-hander at the start of the race. The lights are on. It's time to go racing. The revs are building, and so is the excitement as we get underway. It's drop the clutch and go, go, go. Almost mirror image starts from the front row as Floody is dropping down, seemingly caught a little bit unawares or missing his bite point on the clutch. As in towards the first corner goes Nismo and streaks across the nose of teammate Zen as they run down in towards turn 2, and we look to see if there will be any contact through here. Bongett getting up the inside, Chaotica in the Jack-o'-lantern special livery there in P6 alongside with Floody, and they run side by side. Plenty of pumpkins and trick-or-treat specials here as Floody is certainly off the racing line right now and trying to find his rhythm again. He has lost a position, and he looks like he's about to lose another one as IJV gets ahead into the inside line. But Floody holding on. IJV 2 wheels out on the grass as we run up through the order. You can see then Nismo's dropped down. Nismo with an issue. Let's try and have a look at what happened to Nismo. Here he is getting absolutely mullered by Matt, and then clouting the wall on the exit of the right-hander at the Northeast Circuit, turn 7, and dropping down. So Zen out into the lead, but Nismo losing a position to Matt early doors here, as heading down into the sharp left of turn 11 we go through the order, and Sully it is who is getting through and making a bit of a spectacle of himself out there, and scaring himself into the barrier is Sully. We won't focus too much on Sully, but rounding the final turn we go to finish out lap 1. Zen leads Glovas and Nismo, with Bongit chasing on down in 4th position, but catching a good slipstream there in the Team Chevy special, and having a look for an opportunity here on Nismo. I think Nismo running the hard tyres, struggling at this early stage of the race, but hard tyres for the 2 drivers ahead of him, so he hasn't lost out as a result of that. Team Mountain Dew's Chevy of Bongit is on the soft tyres and in an absolute hurry to get on by. Really enjoying these special Halloween liveries. Some of these are very, very nice indeed. As Bongit is in 4th position, putting in a fastest sector, looking like the man most likely to make a move here, as the other drivers catch towards 2nd place Glovas. It's actually Zen who is away in the lead of this one, and looking pretty imperious at this stage is Zen, but Nismo down in 3rd. It's not going all his way at this stage, and that's only going to be good for the rest of our race. A little boo exclamation on the very point of the nose of the Mountain Dew car, but unable really to find a way through past Nismo at this stage, but still picking up purple sectors is Bongit here, our Canadian racer, standing in for the regular driver at this stage, but a long way to go before we get that safety car period, when all the drivers of course will condense back into a line. Further down, Comacopa's in 5th, we've got Chaotica in 6th, and Izzy in 7th, with Dirksy, Floody in 9th, and we've got Don't Need Time having a look at a potential move here up against Mercury, but Mercury holding the inside line nicely. Mercury defending hard in the Coca-Cola AMG. He's going to lose out though, I think, because Don't Need Time coming through nicely on the softer compound medium tyres, and didn't need a second invitation to jump ahead there. Camzilla is up into 12th position. Berman right at the back in 13th, and might have actually already been into the pits. I'm not entirely sure. Probably not, in fact, and coming through then the order. And battle for the podium continues. Nice and close racing here, but Bongit has managed to pass Nismo. Let's see if we can't find out how that happened. I think just too late on the replay, so I apologise for that. But Bongit up into 3rd. Nismo struggling like crazy here on the hard tyres, unless he is reserving fuel for later on. But they are eating away through their fuel allowance very, very quickly at this stage. So we've got Chaotica. That's a tremendous livery for Chaotica in the Special K Ferrari. Great use of the shape of the Ferrari. I'm absolutely loving that one. It might be my pick of the day so far for the Special K Ferrari team, with Izzy behind in the Puma Porsche Ghostbusters. Definitely enjoying that too, but I think the effect of using that gaping grille at the front of the Ferrari is tremendous. Izzy fighting hard then up to try and take that position away from Chaotica. Dirksy watching on, and I think that might be Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas on the back of the car as well, but he's in at 8th place. Don't Need Time in 9th on his own in the SpongeBob SquarePants non-scary livery today. Camzilla in 10th, with Mercury in 11th. Floody down into 12th, and who would have predicted that at the start of the race? Berman down in 13th. And we go back to the battle at the front of the circuit with Glovas now looking like he's about to fall behind his teammate, and that wouldn't be the end of the world here. Bongit's still on the soft tyres. Glovas, of course, going more for the regular season points and a championship charge, trying to go back-to-back as champion of this GT3 World Challenge. It's looking less and less likely as the races tick by. But in terms of the team best result, it's not great, with Glovas running along into that turn 7 right-hander, but still not allowing Bongit to come on through and head off in pursuit of Zen on the harder tyres So Bongit a little bit hampered here, and presumably now starting to struggle on those soft tyres. So it's going to be interesting how the drivers manage the relatively long first stint of the race. We're on lap 4. We are going through to lap 17 for the safety car caution period. And then, of course, up towards the hour mark for the checkered flag. Izzy does look to have better grip at this stage versus Chaotica, and they are going nose to tail, side by side, and rubbing paintwork between Izzy and Chaotica. Chaotica holding on for now. Izzy on the hards, so is Chaotica. Something has got to give in a few minutes' time, I think, for the Special K and Ferrari liveries here. Great use of the shape of the Puma Porsches to show us the Ghostbusters livery. As Dirksey watches on, trying to make a move then. This is turn 2 in this reverse circuit of Sardegna road course. Looks like Don't Need Time is starting to catch this group now, potentially slowing each other down here as they run through. So I want to have a good look at this livery then. This Halloween special for Kellogg's. Pumpkin Spice looks like, as we just go wrong going through turn 7. But Izzy was not close enough to capitalise. This then is the livery, special livery here for Special K. You have to let me know if Special K genuinely do a Pumpkin Spice edition. But it looks like we've got a bit of action happening here as Copa has caught the potential podium challenge happening right now, and is really closing in. Another good Special K livery approach here. This one just dumping as many Halloween related stickers as possible. I don't know if it's actually representing a specific flavour of Special K today, but here he is in P5. Copa racing in the PSVR2 system and leaving, but Bongit unfortunately running wide, understeering through the final corner, unfortunately for him. And would he get unsettled going through the penultimate corner? Everything looked like it was going to plan here, but just running that tiny bit of overspeed, and the corner just spat him right out onto the gravel, shaking it off, hurting his momentum as he comes on through the long straight. So I wonder if Chaotica will even get an opportunity. Now Bongit is running out of those soft tyres very quickly. I'm surprised he didn't bail to the pit lane out of the final corner, because that was the indication that was necessary. I think we are lap 6 of the first stint of 17, so I think he will have to switch to a set of mediums or hards and get those out of the way. Typically the medium is the best race tyre, and the tyre that the drivers would like to be on at the final stint, if they can make that final stint run to the end of the race and extend whatever gap they can possibly, put themselves in a good position later on. Well, Bongit down to 5th. Copa promoted to 4th. Let's see how close Copa is. He lost quite a bit of time trying to make that pass. There is Nismo, as Globas is in 3rd place, Copa in 4th, Bongit down to 5th place, and Chaotica chasing hard in that 6th place. So, if you're watching with us live, let me know who your favourite livery is so far. I think it's going to be a close run thing between the Ghostbusters Puma Porsche and this one, the Pumpkin Spice Ferrari for me. And I think Chaotica's Ferrari is going to take the award today, such as it is. Just my opinion, of course. It's a special deviant Halloween livery then for the Renault. Let's say blood red and black. Super scary. Cam Ziller in 10th place. Hard tyres for him, putting in a personal best time, so trying to make up for a poor first stint, but get through those hard tyres. Scratched up livery for him, as a very standard looking Coca-Cola livery for Mercury. No pumpkin spice flavour of Coca-Cola today, as Team Zin just clatters the barrier slightly there for S. Berman. Doesn't pick up any damage, he'll be glad to see. And Floody has not been going well in this race so far. Ghostbusters on the car. Looks like a bit of a Slimer colour scheme there for the Puma Porsche, just to distinguish them. 1.4 seconds is Zen's gap over and above his teammate Nismo on identical strategies. Nismo picking up the pole position. I think the race is going to be between these two, certainly at this stage anyway. And Commentator then starting to close in 1.0 seconds to reigning champ Glovas in the Chevy. 48 minutes on the clock as we tick down. As we'll be looking for, we're only lap 7 of 17 at the start of this pre-safety car stint. So let's have a better look, shall we, at Commentator's livery. This is also for his Team Special K. This is the Trick or Treat edition, I think, but not really rocking any Special K specific liveries. Into the pits comes Commentator. He's getting rid of the hard tyres and he's gone for the orange wheel rims as well, so we don't mind a bit of that. Here is Izzy then, close-up of the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 Special. Nice little hybrid between the Puma normal split, I guess kind of sash livery you might call it, and a Ghostbuster Specials. Don't Need Time gets a little bit overexcited, making the pass on Izzy, and runs deep into the corner. It was Izzy who clattered the barrier in the 182, and Don't Need Time got through temporarily with a small little issue there, as Don't Need Time then lost further time back in the order. So P4 and P5 now, thanks to that pit stop for Izzy and Don't Need Time. Dirksey catching. Glovas chasing Nismo, and the lead here down to just half a second. Nismo has absolutely switched on the tyres and dialed up the pace here at this stage, and he's gone for the normally Porsche Rexy livery, and he's applied it on top of the Lamborghini Huracan. So there might be a few registered trademark infringements happening. But I don't think we're going to be being sued by anybody at this stage. Here we go, down past the start-finish line once again to start lap 9. Zen giving up a huge slipstream boost to Nismo, as they will just ease off the throttle to go through the bend of turn 1, and both drivers come the closest they could get to that wall on the exit of turn 1. Through turn 2 they go. And that was perhaps the closest situation that Nismo was going to struggle with, trying to the best opportunity maybe into turn 2, because that will be the best run through the next few corners. On board with Nismo as we follow down behind Zen. Looks like Nismo and Zen on virtually equal tyre wear through this first stint. They have to, of course, use the hard tyre. They will want to use the medium as much as they can. I wonder if they can get rid of the soft tyre stint before the safety car and pick up a chance at the fastest lap. That might be the target for those hard starters today. But we are only 1/4 of the distance through the race exactly as we cross the line there. So this then is Nismo unable to really capitalise on this lap in particular. On how much closer he was getting. As Anatol says, the Lambos have a 10-second lead while on hard tyres. Indeed, Glovas also on the hard tyre, but that point is absolutely valid. It looks like they're using less of those hard tyres than Glovas behind, and Glovas also using more fuel. So headed toward pit lane, I think, will come Glovas after this final corner of lap 9. Will we be peeling across to the right-hand side of the track? It's a relatively late call for the pit lane here. So I said right-hand side, it's actually the left-hand side. Nismo is in the pits, and that was his last-ditch attempt there for the pit stop, for that lap prior to the pit stop. So having the fuel put in, getting up to 3/4 of the tank. Is he going to brim it? Not quite. About 4/5 of a tank of fuel going in, and it is going to be a soft tyre stint here but I think they'll struggle to make those last for another 6 laps before a next pit stop. But this could be a bid for fastest lap over the next lap that they go through for Nismo, when the soft tyres will be up to temperature on this relatively long track. Let's have a look then at Don't Need Time in second place. Other drivers all pitting around him. Now, he has lasted longer on the mediums than some drivers have made the hards last, so he'll be headed towards pit lane at the end of this lap, no doubt. But will that prove to be a good situation, as the drivers pitting ahead of him will of course pit and then have to refuel? So he has the opportunity now, with a little bit of grip left on the mediums, to just go that little bit longer and overcut the drivers who pitted ahead of him. Dirkzey's in the same boat, but he has much more fuel remaining on the Renault. So lots of Halloween related iconography on the 86 there. It's not necessarily a unified theme, but he's definitely gone all out. Zen's in the pits at the head of the order. So will we see perhaps Nismo get the undercut and get on by Zen on these soft tyres? Should be in a good place, Zen. Medium tyres on both second and third positions as they stand. Don't Need Time and Dirkzey coming in to the pits on the mediums. This is Nismo, and I think that's Zen still in the pits. Zen is just coming out of the pits. Nismo is up to full speed and operating temperature for the tyres. He will be in a hurry here, but he'll be a little bit disheartened to see that Zen has got the same tyres on him as they go side by side into turn 2, and a little bit of a rude nudge there from Nismo. Let's have a look at how that went down for the drivers. This is on board with Nismo, and he did kind of outbox Zen and then just go long very deep into the corner. Didn't really make the apex and just made sure of the pass on his teammate. Zen might be feeling a little hard done by there, but we can only hope that these two start to make things extra spicy for us in the race to come. Again, another non-Spotify related Halloween theme here for Zen. Having a lot of fun out there with all the stickers available to him, but he won't. I don't imagine be too thrilled with the way he was just treated by his teammate. 1 second separates first and second, with Copa now down into third place after his pit stop, and because he made that earlier than the other drivers, the gaps have opened up quite nicely now, with Kayota coming through into fourth place up onto the medium tyres. We have Glovas, and then we have a bit of a melee happening as Izzy makes the pass through Don't Need Time on the way into turn 11. We have Bonga in 8th and Dirkzey in 9th. But yeah, good overtake from Izzy past Don't Need Time. And that is a nice battle we've got on our hands now for that 6th place. Izzy holds it right now, at least, as they head towards the very final turns. Don't Need Time going very deep into the final corner, trying to ride high and then cut low for an early application of the throttle. Let's see how close our drivers get to that barrier after the bend of turn 1. There's a small lift to get through here on up to temperature tyres, and that's well, bong it. It's almost like he heard me, because he went almost head first into the barrier there. Let's watch this one from Bongit. First came Izzy. Bongit, I think, unsighted through the corner, so I'll be generous to him here. But huge understeer into the corner, and Dirkzey following him through. Wow, that was dramatic and damaging for the drivers. As Glovas, I think, well, why is Glovas? What's going on with him? Because he's just suddenly lost a bunch of time too. Coming out of turn 2, Glovas, was this just coming out of the pits? Potentially no, he has got some floor damage. He's really hurt the car. Take a look at the damage display on Glovas' car, but he's managing to drive through it now as Don't Need Time goes round. Glovas offline and off on the marbles. Don't Need Time into 6th place. And going side by side with reigning champion Glovas. There was engine damage for a moment there, Anatol, absolutely, but it looks to be clearing now. So able to able to alter the mode selector on the steering wheel and be able to get a reset going. Bongit hit the barrier pretty hard and hasn't actually picked up a huge amount of damage as a result. Just temporary drop of handling there for Bongit and for Dirksey. So clearly race control being fairly generous with the amount of damage incurred given the speed they went through the exit of turn 1. We're back there again now. Let's see if the drivers get through that turn 1 any better as Don't Need Time hangs the tail out and tucks in and Glovas all the way round. That was the worst yet we've seen from Glovas. So maybe the car still not quite handling as he would have hoped. There was a moment there that he would look to be looking down in the cockpit on the way into the corner. Clearly just way over the top. Double impact on the barrier, triple impact on the barrier, and an impact on Don't Need Time. We'll check out Don't Need Time's situation in a minute. But what on earth happened with Don't Need Time and his car? Well, he has picked up rear wing damage and front left, but that's just resolved itself as well. So this is a very dramatic couple of laps there from reigning champion Glovas. Izzy is clear of the situation up into 5th place. Chaotica in 4th, and pointing that sleek Ferrari beautifully through the chicane of 11 and 12. Karmakopa up into 3rd still, but some 12 seconds away from the lead. 16 seconds away is Chaotica, as Izzy is about to tackle that 13-14 interchange under the windmills on the approach into the final corner, turn 15. Still the drivers getting very excitable through the corners. Just trying to remember who is still on softs. Well, we know the lead 2 are on softs and might be going through those tyres quickly. I imagine we'll be pitting on lap 16 or 15 ahead of the safety car caution period. Here is Camzilla and a resurgent Floody chasing him down as they go through turn 1. Are these drivers going through any safer? The Mazda looked like it sat down twice going through the right-hander. Floody was quicker through there in the Puma Porsche. And Camzilla struggling with understeer. Floody traction zone compromised through the next corner. And the next opportunity is the big stop into turn 7, the right-hander at the northeast of the circuit. And we head through into momentarily. There's a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit sign on the roadside there. I don't think the drivers will be observing that today. No way through yet, at least for Floody. As we have a look. This is on board the very front tip of Floody as we draw alongside the team's in car, who swipes across the nose, holds the inside line. Floody looking for a better exit, but was both cars a long way from the apex. Here we go. Opportunity to go through in the chicane of turn 11 and 12. And Floody making it through, but for now, the Zin car getting back past again. A nice little interchange between the drivers. Here comes Floody then to the outside initially through the right-hander, but it's the inside for the next corner. He has to brake a little bit earlier to get through safely. And then Camzilla with the switchback manoeuvre beautifully away out of turn 12 and back into his P9, as Anatol calls it. The last opportunity to head into the pits at the end of this lap, end of 15, start of 16, before of course we get the safety car period. And Camzilla, that was always going to happen, hits the barrier hard and has damaged the car. Might need to pit here. Might be a good opportunity to get into the pits, but it does look like the damage isn't lasting on the cars. But that team's in livery not going to be looking much better. Glovas did go into the pits to fix that damage, and here is Zen's lead, 0.9 of a second only against teammate Nismo. So clearly managed to get back past Nismo. Zen on a good run at this during this stint, but unable to really get far away. Anatol saying it's the new death chicane. It's certainly a very scary place to be on this Halloween special as we build to towards the end of October. heading out of the final corner they go, both on the hard tyre. Nismo has the nod here on the fastest lap so far, a 1:40.445. Zen nowhere near that time on that soft tyre run. So Commentator will come through. Will we see Commentator heading into the pits? I think lots of drivers making that call right now. The medium tyres and the fuel being run very low. Here is then Izzy headed towards pit lane as well, I think. Indeed. But then we have Don't Need Time. I think lots of drivers are going to make this opportunity, but Don't Need Time goes through with 1/3 of a tank of fuel remaining. Quite a lot of those hard tyres available to him as well, as Mercury into 4th place. So Don't Need Time steals 3rd, and he's a little bit out of shape coming through the turn 1 kink. Bend, kink. What makes a bend turn into a kink is definitely a question for today. So lap 12, Nismo was the fastest. It is currently lap 16 as we wait then for Sully to come on out of the pits. Lots of other drivers fitting new hard tyres. Lots of drivers brimming the tank as the Spotify team have both done the same thing, and at least they're staying on the same strategy for us, so we can get a fair fight between them at all stages of the race so far. SpongeBob, Don't Need Time, Renault is currently in that 3rd position. Actually, we're still rocking a Back to the Future license plate on the rear of the car. Mercury in 4th. He doesn't have a lot of fuel remaining, and I wonder if perhaps might rethink that strategy. I might have preferred to have got onto some better tyres. Commentator in 5th, Chaotica in 6th, all on the new tyres, full with fuel. Bonga in 8th, also on new mediums, as Floody has a penalty on this lap to pay. And I think we need to catch Sully coming out of the pits. No penalty for Sully, as he is waiting then with a very dented looking front corner of the car. That is the anti-safety car, it seems, for our drivers, and heading up to speed then for Zen. And no jack-o'-lantern decoration on the all orange safety car. I am very disappointed in our safety car designers. That was an open goal for our safety car livery designers today, but nothing correct. Not even a check engine light. Scary jack-o'-lantern carving. Just one of the best ones I've seen online this year. Zen in 1st position then, as things were, and let's have a nice close look at those liveries while we've got the opportunity on this safety car lap. It is a Nightmare Before Christmas, so maybe we're going to be generous here and suggest it is the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack album edition of the Team Spotify colour scheme. Can't actually see what's on the roof very clearly, unfortunately. Then, of course, we've seen the Rexy livery, and it doesn't age badly, does it? This Rexy livery, very, very attractive. Then we've got the SpongeBob SquarePants for Don't Need Time, and he's got the Webbo Comms sticker there. He's actually scratched the Webbo Comms sticker, so that is going to be losing Webbo style points, I'm afraid. Need to put those stickers in a better place here. Plain and no less stylish, but very on-brand Coca-Cola livery for our Mercedes AMG today. Another quick look at the Trickle Treat Special K. My pick of the bunch today is the Pumpkin Spice Chaotica car. Looking very good out there. I wonder if you guys can spot the one improvement I could suggest for the car. Next up, we've got the red and white Ghostbusters with Stay Puffed, very nice little Stay Puffed sticker on the front left of the car, on the wing. For Puma Porsche, that's the Izzy white and red. Then the Voodoo Mountain Dew Halloween special of Team Mountain Dew's Chevy, driven by Bongit. Same colour scheme, of course, for Teammate. Then we've got the Slimer Green Porsche for the Ghostbuster pattern. I would have liked to have seen a Slimer sticker on there, at least. Into the pits comes Globus, actually overtook under the safety car in order to enter the pits. Then we've got the blood-splattered crime scene. No crime scene tape, actually, on any of our drivers' cars. Again, I'd like to have seen that. And there you can see, scraping the stickers and the wrap off the car is Dirksey today in the 86. Berman for Team Zin in the Mazda. We haven't really looked closely at this Mazda colour scheme. Looking good, making me think about a different league I commentate on has a Skynet racing with all the skulls that you would expect from the Terminator, and it kind of has a feel of that to it, that front end, and a slightly comical ghost on the back of the car. Camzilla in 10th. We've got Globus in the Mountain Dew Voodoo. Don't Need Time has pitted again, and then Mercury, as mentioned earlier on. So we're getting ready for the second phase of the race, second half of our race. And let me know who your pick is between Nismo and Zen while you're watching with us live today. And thank you to everybody who has already liked the video. Really, really appreciate it. And if there are anybody out there who has... Right, what did I just see? Did Sully just hit the wall coming through the corner? I heard a thud as we went through turn 7. Anatol saying Glover's just got a pit lane penalty entry. He did look a little out of control. Here is Sully. Oh, it was an overrun on the engine. It was a backfire on the engine. It wasn't a thud that I heard. So we'll let him go. We'll let him off that one. Zen and Nismo go side by side for a moment. I don't think that's allowed. I think you have to run single file with a distance enough to warm the tyres. Absolutely. But yes, let's have a look at Globus. Is wearing that 3-second penalty. Spot on. Great spot from Anatol. You have to get up very early in the morning to catch Anatol out. Kiros Kai said the pit crews will have to hide the body that was just run over. Absolutely. Karma Copa in P3. At least I imagine Globus was probably not aiming at his own mechanics as he entered the pits dangerously. I don't think he's got the first pit box today. So Zen versus Nismo here at the head of the field. They're not interested in obeying team orders for a clean race. I think we're going to see more than just the sticker teeth on the front of the Rexy car. I think we're going to see teeth bared from both drivers as we head towards the green flag as they cross the line. That will go green. Sully peels into the pits, safe enough this time, and he's ready to get underway. Is Zen at the head of the field, and they will hit the loud pedal as soon as they cross the line to start lap 19 of the hour, and heading down into the bend of turn 1, and we will watch the cars come through there. Anybody misjudging it? Lots of cars giving it a very wide berth, and that's a Team Zin round. That's Camzilla. Did he clout the barrier, or did he just run off the road? Let's follow him carefully as he follows teammate Berman. We're going to turn into turn 1. Oh, it looked like everybody braking harder than they expected, climbing over the apex. No huge contact with the barrier, but yeah, that was less than ideal for Camzilla, and damage on the car immediately as we start the green flag lap. That looks like Floody drawing alongside with Berman. So Floody on the defensive here. Berman was not ahead of him, and Globus in both the Team Mountain Dew and the Team Zin have gone for very, very similar purple with orange trim. Halloween specials today. From a distance, it makes it a little bit harder to judge between them, but it looks like that is the big battle happening right now, as the medium tyres seem to be the tyre of choice at this stage. That Porsche front end looking quite bent and bruised of Floody's car. Coming through turns 11 and 12 chicane. Looks like Don't Need Time is on the defensive here, potentially from Dirksey. He's on the inside line. Is Dirksy going to be on his inside? And that is late on the brakes for Don't Need Time. Can he get it arrested into the apex? And he does just hold on at the end. Let's have a look then at Nismo versus Zen, as it couldn't be closer. 1/10 of a second separating them. And we head into the dreaded turn 1 as they head through here. And that was Zen clouting the mud just on the inside of the barrier. Nismo with a faster run through dives down the inside, textbook overtake into the big stop, but slow away from the corner as Zen saw enough of that coming to change his line through the corner. Nismo takes the lead in the Rexy, and Zen in the Nightmare Before Christmas livery is just following closely behind, but these two are going to do their best to give us some entertainment here. And Zen not wanting Nismo to be top dog in the team at this point, top dinosaur in the team. But at the moment, 7/10 of a second separating our two leaders. Commentator watching on closely here, getting a better apex on the medium tyres. I think, yeah, the top 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, everybody on the medium tyres for this third stint for the majority of the drivers here. Everybody on the mediums and back through to Nismo. Sully has disappeared, of course, exited from our race. Head out of the chicane of turns 11 and 12 and deep in towards the big stop at the end of the circuit. And it looks like Zen lacking a little speed at the moment, or is he just taking it more steadily to treat the tyres a little bit better, extend the stint by 1 from Nismo. But Nismo is certainly wasting no time at all getting past Zen. Commentator will have Izzy chasing down and in striking distance momentarily. Turn 1 dealt with, drivers being a lot more circumspect on the way through turn 1 now. I think enough of them have either rubbed the wall or seen someone rub the wall to treat that with a little bit of extra respect. I think just a little bit less grip than they're expecting to enjoy today at Sardegna reverse. It's Commentator at the moment doing enough here to set both a personal best sector and stay ahead of rival Izzy. Bongit in 5th has Floody super close and exiting turn 7 much better is Floody. He's been hot to trot through several overtake opportunities, has Floody in P6. Looks like he's lacking a little bit of top speed here on the Chevy, but the Chevy, except for the top speed, is giving up quite a lot of other aspects of performance. So Bongit looking for an opportunity behind Floody, a big gap actually at the moment, and Bongit certainly struggling through the corners at this early stage of the stint. It is lap 21, it is minute 40 of 60, so we're about to tick over into the final third of our race, and Floody looking pretty likely to action a move as the drivers are all pretty close together. This is Berman in 7th with teammate Glovers in, sorry, not teammate, I've done it again. Glovers is in 8th right now in the Chevy, very much out of position today. Chaotica likewise was fighting over the podium and is currently 9th. Then we've got Dirksy, Mercury, Don't Need Time, and at the back Camzilla right now. Uncharacteristically poor race so far for Camzilla, who should really be in a monster style livery, I think, today. I don't know, is it fair of me to suggest we're lacking a touch of creativity across the grid? There are some great liveries, don't get me wrong, but some of them are lacking a little, perhaps. But everybody's celebrating Halloween in their own way, apart from Team Coca-Cola, who want nothing to do with this satanic festival. We have Commentator in 3rd, Izzy in 4th position at the moment on screen, fighting over the last podium place and the only podium place that looks in danger of going to a team other than Spotify. Nismo leads Zen, Commentator and Izzy. That's your top 4. Kuros Kai saying you need soda to help all the candy down. I don't know, man. Kuroskai, I think adding soda to candy is just fuel to the fire, especially when kids are concerned. I would suggest a much less sugary drink would be a good way to get the candy down better. I'm not quite sure what I'm suggesting at the moment, but I wouldn't make anybody suffer tea, but I would go with a coffee to help with the candy to get that down. But whatever floats your particular boat. Glovas in 8th position. Lots of drivers out of position at the moment. Kuroskai saying they're going to go into a sugar coma anyways. Just hurry it along, okay? Good call. Chaotica in 9th. Mercury in 10th place. Don't need time chasing down in 11th. And this looks like it might turn into something in a moment. It's lap 23, and it is overcast right now in this late morning, mid-morning, I should say, at this stage on the race here in Sardegna. Mercury is about to make that job a lot easier for Don't Need Time, who's running through much faster. Could have an opportunity into turn 7 here. Don't Need Time shapes to the inside, moves out to the outside. Mercury running out of grip here, I think, fast, and snaking the car away out of turn 7, but Don't Need Time in a very similar tyre position. Look at this, super close. It's like they're joined with a tow rope, these two, as Don't Need Time waiting to pounce, but Mercury currently outfoxing him with the defence, and Don't Need Time running out of time to make the pass here before he gets settled into the rhythm of the rival in front of him. 17.5 minutes to go in this GT3 World Challenge. If you are able to watch with us live, make sure that you know it is GT4 shortly afterwards. The GT4s will be racing, and I know we've got GT4 racers watching with us live as well, and I'm sure they will leave the stream running to help with the watch time stats. They've bring their friends in. And I must say a big thank you to all Deviant Racing team members and fans who have already subscribed to my channel. Really appreciate it. Bongit has gone into the pits with just about 16 minutes to go, so he'll be looking for his final stint. The first driver to come into the pits for their final set of tyres and fuel. And actually Komakopa has been driving the wheels off this car in this stint so far after the safety car. It is a medium tyre, but so are the drivers in front of him. Looks like we might be able to split this with 2 medium stints at the end of the race, but he really has held on to the Team Spotify stranglehold over first and second positions, but he's certainly within the zone here if there is a mistake, as the drivers' lights come on over the crest for the Team Spotify Lamborghinis. I don't know if that's a design fault as the car gets unloaded, some electrical short out, or it's something that the drivers are doing deliberately. I don't think so, but that was good to see, as Izzy, he was challenging Komakopa, but as the mediums have worn down on the Puma Porsche, he has faded in this stint after the yellow. Then Floody, teammate, is catching. Izzy will presumably get the call from the team that Floody needs the points more than he does in the championship. I like the fact that they've gone with like an off-white on the Puma Porsche for the Ghostbuster livery. Very kind of overall uniform specific there. But so far it looks like Floody having to follow Izzy, but the team will be making the call, I'm sure, to suggest that that Floody, as a regular season driver, does get the greater share of the points out of the 2 drivers. Berman has put in a good stint as well after the safety car. He's up to 6th place. Everybody running a similar strategy in the second half of the race here. Medium after the safety car. They do have to use the compounds available to them, medium and hard, and several drivers going for that soft tyre stint prior to the safety car to try and get a fastest lap attempt. Arcane saying doesn't think Floody will accept a gifted place from a teammate. He's far too prideful. Okay. Chaotica having a sniff down into turn 7, but Glovas closing the door. Well, the door was never really open for Chaotica. He wasn't that close. Normal racing line being used then by Glovas. Chaotica would love to make the overtake. Tell you what, Don't Need Time is certainly taking his time to make the pass on Mercury here. Mercury, oh dear, not really leaving a full race car's width. I would hasten to argue at first glance there. Let's have a look at whether Don't Need Time had a full racing car's width in the braking zone. Mercury shaped to the inside here, so Don't Need Time peels to the left to take the braking zone. Oh, and then really closed out. So with a wall facing Don't Need Time, I do feel like he wasn't necessarily given the room, but I wonder, was that Mercury sort of saying essentially, no, you can go on through? I think it was. So Mercury seems to have released Don't Need Time. Chaotica is into the pits. Camzilla screams into the pits as well. Don't go in too fast, as Floody has had a problem. What's happened to Floody? That looks like the hallmarks of turn 1 again. Several drivers around him pitting. He gets a clear view into turn 1 for the first time in a long time and can't seem to pick his turning point. The medium tyres letting go, and Floody, big impact on the barrier. And if he wasn't headed in earlier on the next lap, he certainly will be now. That was a big impact for Floody. So a slightly academic conversation there about the Ghostbusters Puma Porsches today, because I don't think Floody will be able to compete with the race pace of his teammate. Globas goes through. He's doing well on his fuel. The later you can run this final pit stop, the better, because you spend the least amount of time stationary for fuel, and you have the least amount of chance to get that fuel calculation wrong, of course, because there are fewer laps remaining. 26 we are on lap number. I think we're going to go through and clear 30 today. Don't Need Time and Mercury still on the same lap as the leaders. Comacopa was one of the first there into the pits and has got the nod ahead of Izzy. Berman coming through as well. He's on new tyres and a very battered and bruised car he has at the moment. Both leaders into the pits on the same lap, unable to stretch it. I thought Zen might try and stretch to make an extra lap. Here's an overtake opportunity for Dirksey down the inside, but both drivers quite steady through the corner as Chaotica holds on to the position. New tyres for Chaotica. He'll hope to pick up a position here or two once the next pitting drivers run through the order, but I think he's not going to be featuring on the podium, even though he was fighting up there earlier on. Chaotica in P10 and not able to make an overtake. Well, he's past Mercury, and out of the pits comes Don't Need Time just in front of him. That will give him a question mark, and Don't Need Time hanging around on the apex. Now, I don't know if I've called that correctly from the first glance, but that really looked, certainly, let's ride on board here with Chaotica, because coming out of the pits is the bright blue Don't Need Time, and it looked like Don't Need Time just hanging around on the apex, but quite where he was supposed to go when Chaotica just comes screaming in. I'm not entirely sure. So there we have Chaotica managed to avoid damage, which you'll be super grateful for. Don't Need Time has a penalty for being fully off the track, I think, and Chaotica, it's certainly a chaotic run through that lap 27. Up at the front, Globas has the lead of the race by 14 seconds, 1-4 seconds. He is yet to pit. I'm sure we'll be headed towards pit lane now with just under 10 minutes remaining. Globas into the pits. Can he do it without picking up a penalty this time? I think so, but we shall see. As Nismo has managed to open a 4-second gap on his teammate just through the in-lap and out-lap phase of their final pit stop. I don't know how that's possible. How on earth has Nismo extended that gap? Maybe he's just got greater confidence on the tyres. Maybe he's over-damaged the tyres, overused them on this phase. Comacopa up to third again. He's gone for soft tyres. Sorry, Izzy's gone for soft tyres to try and, on the Puma Porsche here, to try and get ahead of Comacopa. But he's going to have to get a real hurry on. And he gets a much better line through the corner. But he does put 2 tyres out onto the mud and grass on the exit of turn 2. Also behind them, Globas is out of the pits and are just ahead of Berman. Purple, black and orange, definitely the fashion du jour of the teams. Team Zin and Team Mountain Dew anyway. So here is Izzy, almost shadowing Commentator. You can barely see the car as they come towards the camera. This is Izzy looking for that inside line. Commentator holding the inside line for the big stop down into turn 10, but Izzy round the outside. There's a move to enjoy. Izzy just rubbing the barrier on the way through the next corner. But this then is Izzy lining up Commentator nicely. Picks his side, he picks the left. Commentator leaving that left line through because he wanted to make the run, but as they went through the left-hander of 9, Izzy is nicely through and up into 3rd position provisionally. Pretty big climb for him. So Izzy, this is a potential podium here. 4.3 seconds still only from Zen, 2nd place, but 8 in total because of the gap that Nismo managed to open through that final pit stop phase. Nismo has this extra gear in the final stint of the races. It's like he's just been toying with the rest of the field, and then he suddenly switches it on when it matters most at the end of the race. Is he going to overextend? Could there be a mistake before the end of the race? Obviously stay tuned to find out as Glovas makes his own mistake, and the 2 cars following him end up wide as well on the way out of the corner, out of turn 2. Difficult turn to judge there. A lot of these road course turns are very, very tricky. Remember, we're going in reverse from the way the circuit has been designed and laid out, so that does often mean that you end up with these blind corners, blind at apex or blind at exit or both. Certainly 7 minutes are on the clock as we run down through the midpoint of the circuit. Glovas ahead of Berman, ahead of Floody. Has Floody fixed the car? Well, the car has fixed itself, it seems. Temporary handling issue for a moment there for Floody. So obviously the different modes available to the drivers on the steering wheel, very, very powerful. Here comes Dirksey leading Chaotica for 8th position. Chaotica just having a little look into the corner. These two have been very close together today, obviously very closely matched pace. Kamzilla is down in 13th and last at this stage, but Nismo starts lap 30, and he has a gap of 3.8 seconds as Zen's gap behind him is now 6.4. So both Spotify cars have certainly dialed up the pace, but I'm just slightly unsure how it was that Nismo opened such a gap through that phase earlier on after the pit stop, or during the pit stop perhaps. They've got the same amount of fuel on board, so maybe he had saved some fuel earlier on, didn't need as much time in the pits as Zen, but they were pretty identical earlier. Zen may have overfueled, I suppose. No, not even that. I can't even excuse it that way. This is Commentator and Izzy then battling over Izzy's 3rd place. I think we will see most likely change of positions between these two. So that's Commentator screaming past the trackside microphone, and again in the beautiful sounding Ferrari for Team Special K. Absolutely crowding behind Izzy, making him guess which way he's going to go, but there Izzy, pinpoint perfection on the way into the corner, just holding his line. He has every right to pick his own lane here as the lead driver until Commentator is alongside. Izzy can do whatever he likes in front of him, shy of weaving twice, but he's certainly picking some really good defensive lines. Question will be, will Glovas, who is looming large and larger in the mirrors, will Glovas be able to capitalise on Izzy's defensive driving? Commentator looking for that inside line into the dreaded turn 1 as it's becoming today. Turns in, will have to crank on some extra steering. Izzy still holding the middle line into the corner. Commentator unable to capitalise, but getting a better exit, perhaps hesitating at the apex slightly. Both drivers away cleanly out of turn 2. Zen and Nismo in front of these two are a good distance away. Kuroskai enjoying the defence here from Izzy. It can be a very narrow, temporary racetrack, of course, we've got on our hands here at Sardegna. Even more temporary, I suppose, if it's in reverse. As Floody continues to work on S. Berman behind. Glovas between these two battles. Komakopa couldn't be much closer as he looks for that line again. This is the line that Izzy took and managed to sweep around the outside, but Izzy later on the brakes into turn 10. And again, little snap of throttle oversteer for Izzy. I think Komakopa has the inside line heading into turn 11 and 12. He'll have to try and take a slower apex than usual, and does so and takes the position. That was a fantastic sequence from both drivers. Here is Komakopa heading around the outside into turn 10. Izzy got him here earlier. Izzy just pressing him towards the outside barrier, but Izzy himself making a mistake on the throttle application that allows Komakopa to get sufficiently up the inside, and then he just gets stopped in time. Izzy a little bump and run, but it didn't quite work out. Great overtake from Komakopa. Made all the more impressive in my book anyway by racing in the PSVR2 system, which is a far scarier place to be. But P4 for Izzy, he won't be happy to let that one go. This should be the penultimate lap for our drivers now. As kicking up the dirt we go again. Glovas with a better exit. What's the story? Well, it's Izzy's soft tyres that explains Glovas now getting passed on the straightaway out of turn 2. Beautiful stuff from Glovas. So Izzy's bid here for the win, for the podium, fading super fast, faster even perhaps than the fuel he's got left on board. This is going to be a case of limping home for Izzy and trying to hold on to 5th position for the Puma Porsche. He's got his teammate 2 places behind him at the moment. His prideful teammate, as we heard earlier from Arcane, as Glovas follows Komakopa. Komakopa on the mediums. So is Glovas. Glovas potentially in the slightly more favoured car here. As Anatol's saying, Glovas has had a real adventure. If he can get on the podium, I think he will be absolutely ecstatic, because he's been super far down. 2 consecutive crashes. Oh, and he does it again, coming out off of turn 12, does Glovas. Just to underline the fact that we've had a very adventurous day. I think just losing the rear of the car. Let's watch that again with Glovas. Looked like he was getting excited here. Komakopa long into the corner, and Glovas, everything looks straightforward. Bang! Straight into the barrier. I'm at a loss to explain that one, I'm afraid, folks. But other than a potential Anatol or commentator's curse, that one was a little bit of a mystery. So, in the lead of the race, in the dying few seconds, and into the final 2 sectors of his race goes our leader, Nismo, now by 6.5 seconds. Nismo also with the fastest lap of the race. That was so much faster than anybody else, a 40.4 out there. I think pole position was a 40.0, and that's incredible, because that was quite a lot of fuel on the car in that fastest lap attempt. Back then, temporarily at least, to this battle to see if Komakopa can hold on for long enough to get home here. I think he can. 10 seconds on the clock. Confirm this to be the final lap of the GT3 World Challenge round 5 of season 3.3. 2 rounds to go after this one. We'll be finishing at Le Mans, so we look forward to that. But rounding the final corner in style comes Nismo. Rexy for Team Spotify will win again with the fastest lap and pole position. Nismo takes the checkered flag and wins, and he has teammates to take home the maximum points for Team Spotify, as if they needed those points. Zen in second place. Komakopa has survived the final corner and takes his Special K Ferrari up to 3rd place, and best of the rest here from Commentator. Congratulations to him. Glovas finishing 4th. Overall, a good performance, a good result, I should say. Berman in 5th. Floody home in 6th place, and Chaotica in my pick of the liveries today in 7th. We have Don't Need Time for SpongeBob. Team SpongeBob Renault is in 8th with the 9th place Dirksey. 10th place comes Mercury. Kamzilla in 11th. Izzy in 12th. Bongit has had the opposite kind of race to his teammate here, as the Chevy crosses the line to finish last and 13th place. But Nismo and Zen a 1-2 for Spotify once again. Tremendous race from them. A perfect day for the late 90s era Team McLaren. Mika Hakkinen winning overalls there. Goes Nismo with pole position and the fastest lap of the race. A perfect day for Nismo, a perfect result for Team Spotify, and just confirming that provisional result with the fastest lap of 1:40.445 goes our race winner Nismo. Zen in 2nd, Commentator in 3rd with Glovas in 4th. Berman coming home in that 5th place. We have Floody in 6th, Chaotica in 7th, Don't Need Time in 8th, followed by Dirksey, Mercury, Kamzilla, Izzy, Bongit and Sully. Bringing home the safety car, of course, in 14th. Bongit last for the country of Canada, unfortunately for him, but it was a Dutchman who won us the race today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that you've subscribed, but if not, do so now, because we'll be back in less than 10 minutes time for the GT4 World Challenge if you're watching with us live. If not, leave a like on your way out, bring your friends in and share the video. And thanks to everyone from the GT3 World Challenge. We'll be back on with GT4 soon from Deviant Racing. This is Webbo. We'll catch you very soon.